This is Olivier Blanchard with Dassault Systèmes 3DEXPERIENCE Forum, and I'm here today with Ajay Chavali. I didn't butcher it this time. North American lead for aerospace and defense with Accenture. So welcome.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself before we start?
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
My name is Ajay Chavali, so I'll say it right again. And I lead our North America, what we call product engineering and life cycle services practice. And for aerospace and defense, I'm part of our aerospace and defense practice. And I'm based out of the Seattle office.
Yep.
And I work with mostly our aerospace and defense clients, the big names across the globe. But I've also spent time in the high-tech industry and then also in the automotive industry in the past. And what we primarily focus on is really helping our clients from strategy through execution. And the area that I focus on tends to be around innovation, product development, product engineering, manufacturing, yep. and lately a lot around IoT and analytics as well.
Right. And you've been pretty much consulting for like 2 decades, pretty much, right?
Yeah. Most of my career has been consulting. I've never had a real job. And right. I love what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, question, digital transformation. It's obviously a huge transformative movement.
Yeah.
It works really well when it works well.
Yeah.
It's a little bit challenging when companies run into roadblocks and
yeah.
whether they're operational, technical, or otherwise. Could you give us kind of an idea of how things are going with digital transformation? What are you seeing out there? If there are like big trends or things that you feel should be at top of mind when it
yeah.
comes to digital transformation?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And the way we look at it is it's a force to reckon with. I mean, it is going to change fundamentally how industries operate. And like any kind of big transformation or big revolution, the people that take advantage of it, enjoy the benefits of kind of riding the wave, right? So that's how we think about it. And what we've done is we've actually gone out and talked to a lot of the leading companies, especially in aerospace and defense where I operate in. We went out globally, talked to different companies, did a pretty massive survey, looking across functions and across different levels of the organization, from the C-suite level, CIOs, CTOs, CEOs, through VPs of product, VPs of strategy, to try to understand how they're seeing it and what insights we can draw from that.
Yep.
And I think we're hearing the same thing, is companies are thinking about this, companies are thinking about how they could leverage it. And I think there's a couple of major trends that are impacting, especially aerospace and defense. One is around products or this blurring of the product services continuum.
Yeah.
And what used to be selling what we call big iron, right, as big aircraft, to selling big data and kind of the services around the data. So this move from big iron to big data is a trend that we're seeing pretty significantly. And we feel that a digital transformation can enable you both strategically think about how you can generate new revenue models and net new businesses that didn't exist a few years ago. Right. To actually using the transformation to become just more cost efficient and more productive with what you're doing today.
Yeah. So you're conducting this research,
yeah.
And you've kind of identified some of the things that you're looking for.
Yeah.
What are you finding in terms of, especially the most difficult challenges
yeah.
that companies face? Are the challenges purely technical?
Yeah.
Are they cultural?
Yeah.
Are they something else?
Yeah.
What do you see out there that kind of starts to become a pattern?
Yeah. So let me give you a little examples of both. So there are some technical challenges, and by technical I don't necessarily mean IT challenges, mm-hmm. but the challenges of data. Data. There's massive amounts of data being generated, and to if you look at an aircraft, it's got so many sensors on it, so many things, and it's generating massive amounts of data. And to be able to think of data as a strategic resource, that is going to be one of the things that we see as a challenge, right? And it also, when you look at the notion of the digital thread and enabling a service that includes not just the organization, but everybody else, the suppliers, the partners, yeah. the customers, and weaving a thread through that entire value chain, being able to make all that data come together and draw insights from it and make useful insights out of it and build a business model around it, that I find a bit of a technical challenge, yeah. right? The second component of this is more of a maybe a strategic or maybe a cultural challenge, which is how do you make business and IT work together to realize that vision? Because this is truly one of those where business and IT truly have to work together in a symbiotic fashion, because you have to apply the right kind of technologies to harness all this data and all the information and then make something useful out of it. Yeah. And then you have to have a purposeful business strategy that dictates what kind of investments you make on the IT side. And then it's this symbiotic relationship between business and IT, which is another, I think, big challenge that we see. Right. That truly, I think, is one of those things that you really have to be able to figure out to be successful through these transformations.
Right. So you mentioned the digital thread.
Yeah.
I caught that. So that's an interesting term. I think I know what you mean by that, but could you explain what the digital thread is and why it's so important to companies?
Yeah, no, that's a good question, because there are different variations of the term in the marketplace. And when we did the survey, we were trying to understand what these different terms mean, and kind of sort out the kind of the real from the hype. And we also did some definition up front in terms of what a digital twin is and what a digital thread is. So let me explain that to you. So a digital twin is a virtual representation of a physical product. Yeah. So maybe an aircraft, maybe some other product, and all the digital components of that, all the CAD modeling around it, the specification documentation around it, the simulation, the manufacturability, all that information. When you take the physical world and model it, you get the digital twin. Yep. So that, think of it as left to right, the physical, the virtual. Now, when you go back and take the product that's in its operating environment, and when it's going through from ideation through becoming a real product, all the data that's collected, all the information that's being collected, when you're able to bring that back and then string a thread between your physical and your digital, that's what we define as the digital thread. So for example, if I was to take the data coming off an aircraft that is in service and use that to predict when I need maintenance on it, and use the intelligence that I built while I was designing the product and building the digital twin, and be able to either do better in predictive maintenance or even generate a new business model around predictive maintenance. To me, that is the realization of a digital thread.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so if people want to find out a little bit more about your research, your findings, where should they go? Where can they find that?
So they could go to Accenture.com.
Yep.
We publish all our research for people to consume. They can of course reach out to myself, and I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's exciting times in the aerospace industry. People are talking about going to the Mars and colonizing Mars. I mean, how much more exciting can it get than that? So, and I have several colleagues like myself that are as excited about this space and about using this new world of digital thread and digital twin and digital transformations to make companies more efficient and do things that we've never done before.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. We're out of time.
Okay.
And that's it for us. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.